Texas is under threat again this morning from a relentless and deadly cycle of rain and flooding. More heavy rain and lightning lashed areas around Dallas overnight. Some parts of the state have seen more than a foot of rain in recent days.
Storms have killed at least 17 people in Texas and Oklahoma since the weekend. More than a dozen others are still missing at this hour, and as many as 4,000 homes in Houston are damaged after a deluge on Monday night and Tuesday. Vicente Arenas is in downtown Houston with the latest. Vicente, good morning.
Good morning, Gail. I am indeed right near downtown in an area that's usually high and dry, but as you can see in this stairway here, it's covered with water. It's an area that bikers and runners usually get down to a park so that they can exercise, but now it's filled with floodwaters and damage, all brought here by this deadly storm that passed through Houston yesterday. Across the Houston area, people are recovering from a devastating flood that paralyzed much of the city. 6 hours of relentless rainfall flooded streets and highways, causing thousands to abandon their cars and trucks.
We've had 10 days, 2 weeks of steady rain. The grounds were completely saturated, and there's really been no place for the water to go.
911 operators fielded nearly 2,300 calls, many from stranded drivers needing help from first responders. 2 people are missing after their rescue boat capsized, and a 66-year-old man who died of a heart attack while helping a woman whose car was submerged.
I remember him, it's my best friend, and he was everything you could ask for in a father.
This image shows the inconsolable grief of a man after he learned one of his relatives had drowned inside a truck.
She's safe.
And 4 strangers risked their lives to help a woman and her dog after their car was trapped by the quickly rising waters. Some 4,000 homes were damaged in the flooding. One of the hardest hit areas was the community of Meyerland. Durseni Martins took these photos after her family woke up to their home underwater.
We are safe. We are safe.
With the threat of more severe weather on the way, Texas's governor has issued a disaster declaration here in Houston and is warning drivers not to take any chances.
Do not drive into rising water. I know it may seem like something that you can easily traverse, but it's something that is incredibly powerful and can sweep you away, just like it has so many others in the state of Texas over the past week.
Crews from Louisiana, Oklahoma, and Arkansas have volunteered to come here and to try to help get this city back on its feet. I've covered news in this city for more than a decade, and I can tell you this is some of the worst flooding that I've ever seen here. And this morning, there's a lot of concern. I don't know how much you can see, but the wind is swirling, there is lightning and there's thunder, and there are showers all around. The ground is saturated. The bayous could rise again very easily. Charlie?
Vicente, thanks. A frantic search resumed this morning in central Texas for nearly a dozen people missing since a devastating flood surge last weekend. They ranged from 4 to 81 years old. Don Dahler is along the Blanco River in Wimberley, Texas, where a phone call to a family member signaled trouble. Don, good morning.
Good morning. We're learning more about the 11 missing people as well as this massive search operation that is still underway to find them. This is the Blanco River below me here. I'm probably about 35 to 40 feet above the waters, but let me show you. This house completely destroyed by the floodwaters. It shows you just how high up the raging waters came as well as how powerful they are, or they were. This area is where most of the missing people were last seen. Crews combed the shoreline of the Blanco River by land and air on Tuesday, surrounded by mangled reminders of Saturday's deadly storm.
We have over 150 personnel continuing to scope the river, looking for any survivors.
3 families from Corpus Christi were staying in a Wimberley vacation home that was washed away by the floodwaters. Laura McComb, her 6-year-old son Andrew, and 4-year-old daughter Layton are among those still missing.
She had told me probably around 11 o'clock that water had started coming in.
McComb was texting with her sister Julie Shields during the storm. Then the phone rang.
1 o'clock in the morning, she called me. She said, I'm in a house. I'm floating down the river. Tell Mom and Dad I love you and pray.
McComb's husband, Jonathan, survived with a broken sternum, rib, and punctured lung.
He is absolutely devastated. He did everything he possibly could to save them.
From the San Marcos,
250 additional volunteers are aiding the search effort. Some are using a nearby church as home base.
This is a moment of crisis for these families, and you do whatever you can to help.
Family members of the 8 missing from Corpus Christi remain hopeful and grateful. In a joint statement, they said, "The search remains an active search." They continued, "We have been overwhelmed and strengthened by the outpouring of support."
And in fact, 2 people were found still alive yesterday by rescuers. They'd been cut off and couldn't contact the authorities. There will be a vigil for Andrew and Leighton McComb on Sunday at their school, Incarnate Word Academy. Gail.
Oh, Don.
Imagine losing everything you love.
I can't. That McComb story is heartbreaking, as is all the stories of people that are missing, but you still got to have hope, because you see sometimes there is a silver lining. We thank you, Don. A tornado touched down last night in a field near Oklahoma City. No homes were nearby. And take a look at this impressive display of lightning as the storms move through Oklahoma. Forecasters expect to see more rain there today and tonight.